Mary Magdalene was one of the first persons to whom Jesus appeared. She was deeply devoted to him, especially because of the great mercy he offered her when he forgave her sins and expelled demons from her. After that, Mary became a devout follower and was one of the few who remained faithful to him, even as he hung upon cross. The tomb of Jesus was in a garden. This must be the reason why Mary Magdalene assumed that the man in front of her was the gardener. Jesus called out her name, Mary. Immediately she recognized his voice, the voice of her master. Her response was spontaneous and certain, Rabboni. It was a response not only of recognition, but also unquestioning faith and firm conviction. It is Jesus himself, no doubt about it. The interesting question here is why Mary did not immediately recognize the Lord. The Gospel says that she was weeping. She was overcome with grief. We know by experience that when a person is in this condition, his senses can be clouded. Perhaps the tears and despairing spirit must have covered her vision. But aside from that, Mary did not recognize the Lord because she had a mistaken expectation. That is why Jesus asked her, "What are you looking for?" It was clear to the Lord that she was expecting a corpse in the tomb. She was looking for a dead Lord. For her, the tomb was still the place of death and sorrow. She was not expecting life in the midst of death. This is a very important lesson for us. The resurrection of Jesus is telling us of the true value of the cross. In the midst of sorrows and pain, there is joy. In the midst of defeat, there is victory. Truly, the cross is our way to victory and glory. This can only be possible if we remain faithful in following the Lord on his way to Calvary and rejoice in the victory of his resurrection. Conversion of the heart is essential in this regard. This is illustrated in the case of Mary Magdalene. The Gospel says, she turned and said to him in Hebrew, Rabboni. It is an interior turning from dark into light, from gloom to joy, from doubt to faith, from loss and detachment to recovery and intimacy. The lesson of today is a call to the same conversion of heart and mind. The resurrection of Jesus should inspire us to take a different perspective towards life, in view of our ultimate destiny as God's children. Just like Mary Magdalene, we too may fail to recognize the presence of the risen Lord in our neighbors because of our preoccupations, spiritual blindness, and evil habits. But we can be open to experience the presence of the risen Lord in our lives through our prayer, sacramental life, and our meditative reading of the Bible. This all enables us to bear witness to the risen Lord in our everyday lives.